industry was built by medical cannabis patients that went out like me for 15 years and got petitions and signatures and worked with Canacon and HempFest and very enlightened people that helped move the steps of our statehood further ahead of any other state in the country. We're not getting represented here. The state has 30,000 medical registers at 2015. It's down to less than 10,000 now. There's only 5 medical cooperatives in this state. We have the LCB acting as a domestic terrorist organization where they write their own search warrants, their own arrest warrants, and try to institute them and bring them, and they came into our properties as American citizens and said, here, we're arresting you.
The reason that this is important is because Skagit County Prosecutor's Office denies that she's a cannabis patient in the state of Washington and a cooperative member of 138 and somebody that I've personally taken care of since 2018.
Yes, folks, it's the hippies and the niggas. And the LCB never met one of either that it didn't like. In this instance, we are focusing on the hippies and the co-ops, specifically Co-op 138 up near me in Skagit. Now, one of LCB's 502 stores was coming to the nuisance, so to speak, so the co-op needed to make itself a residence in order to be compliant. Now, as they were doing this, they had a hearing scheduled, but the day before that hearing a couple of years ago, Skagit, Anacortes, and state officials raided them using this document from the LCB's Shannon Angel, saying that there was no co-op there. But this document showing no licensed cooperative was for a facility they were considering purchasing, not the one they were operating. Now, the simple fact is, there never was any investigation whatsoever. And the courts and law enforcement agencies have been violating their constitutional and medical rights ever since. Sadly, with the help of their own hired attorney, Rodney Moody, a man with a history of not 1, not 2, but 3 bar punishments for conduct involving money and due diligence, the exact issues at play here. Courts protected him too. One day, a day of reckoning will come for all of these people. I swear to God. Now, the reason that the LCB hates the hippies, the co-ops, and the blacks and browns so much is because we're not part of their crony empire. You know, your Eisenbergs, your Widmer, Kaleafas, people that are dirty. and Vicky Christopherson and the WACA link and all of that stuff. We're not part of that empire. So we get screwed.
I'm a care provider at the Suburban Propane building. And in 2019, we experienced 5 robberies, burglaries, caught on camera for over $100,000. They were done by Tamara O'Connor. I took that videotape and gave it to the Anacortes Police Office. And on the 5th burglary, 4 times in 20 days, I ended up on August 20th, I went to the Anacortes Police Station on a Sunday night to file a complaint against the officers who wouldn't show up to our facility. It's not an easy life, and to try and defend yourself against an imaginary allegation is impossible to do. We weren't committing a crime. We were a licensed cannabis cooperative. We tried to get the signature off the paperwork. It was illegible, and he didn't put his bar association number on there, on the final verdict, which we found also troubling, which made it so. The short of that, we have had no legal activity or retrieval of our property since we appealed their action, and they have been unresponsive to it for almost a year now. In March, it'll be a year. The guy that should be representing me on these things got a contact from Mr. Wyrick, and he emailed me saying, what are these gobbledygook motions about? They're not going to help you. And I responded in a long email chain. He won't answer his phone. He won't talk to me, but he'll force me, who am dyslexic and I can't spell and I can't type, he'll only email conversation with me. So I can't, he's taken $8,000 of our money, won't talk to us on the phone. How can he defend us in a court of law? How can he help us at all? This is a traumatic experience for me that causes me a lot of anxiety, sleepless nights.
Hi, Michelle. This is Michael Schermerhorn, Michelle, and the best puzzle put together on the planet right here. And this is where Michelle's staying at right now.
Scheduled time frame.
Yeah, on a scheduled time frame. Yeah, waiting for the doctor. But this is the reason that this is important is because Skagit County Prosecutor's Office denies that she's a cannabis patient in the state of Washington and a cooperative member of 138, and somebody that I've personally taken care of since 2018 and have been a licensed Washington state care provider. And I'm here in the state of Washington providing her with her medical necessitated cancer and cannabis and Crohn's disease medicine. She's licensed and I'm licensed to provide this for her. It's very important that this distinctions are made and are recorded and used to correct the court record in Skagit County where the prosecution has lied about our relationship and said that I am not her licensed Washington state care provider and that on September of 2019 I wasn't growing cannabis for her. And these are all lies, and this information needs to be investigated and reported appropriately. Thank you. So, this is Swedish Hospital, the 12th floor, September 2nd. This is Michelle Larson. This is Michelle Larson's room. My name is Michael Schermerhorn, and I'm Michelle Larson's designated healthcare provider. This is the cream for her bottom. Here's the CBD cannabis is for her treatment of her skin and Crohn's. Here's the gummies and other pain relief stuff that I'm licensed by the state of Washington Department of Health to provide for her because the girl's sick.
It's not an easy life, and to try and defend yourself against an imaginary allegation is impossible to do. We're not attorneys. We're not lawyers. We're people that are in hospitals and in assisted living situations. We don't have money to go after people that are trying to criminalize us because we're different and we need cannabis to live and have a better quality of life. We're not criminals. The criminals were the ones that stole our property. And then when we filed those complaints, the prosecution said we were doing the crime and seized all of our stuff.
Well, guys, it's been well over a year since I did our first videos here that I'm about to show, along with the ones you just did at Swedish Hospital. So in that time, we've come to discover a number of things regarding any alleged investigations, from San and Angel to Detective Black at State Patrol, documents that indicated they had somehow investigated you or your facilities. What are the facts that we know now?
We got our Department of Health records back and our Washington State Liquor Cannabis Control Board records back. There was never an investigation ever done in our medical cannabis licensing or registration. It was all a bunch of hogwash and hearsay to cover up the fact that we were complaining about them and had a court date on the 6th. So they raided us on the 5th under false pretenses. It's that simple.
It really is. I've looked at it myself, and it's remarkable. And then the documents that Shannon Angel provided to Detective Black, that was regarding a store that you were going to buy. It had nothing to do with the facility that you had.
They did a little bait and switch thing. They said, oh, here, we're looking at this, which was the recreational side. We went through 5 failed 502 purchases with Paul Ware and Tamara O'Connor, who later turned out to be the ones that robbed us because they didn't want to put up legal money. They wanted to finance it through illegal black market sales. We didn't agree with that. We thought that's not how we're going to finance this. You guys wanted to give us money to do that. And then when we didn't agree with it, they robbed us. And when we complained about them robbing us, the Anacortes Police Department broke my hip, my shoulder, and my foot, and then said I didn't complain.
I know, and you stopped your heart too.
They caused a stoppage in my heart when they raided us the day before I was in court.
It's insane. Roxanne, what do you got? What do you got on this?
Well, I know that they tried to act like they were going to help us, but they weren't. All the time they were trying to. As far as I'm concerned, it's entrapment. The way that they behaved, the lack of lawful investigation that they did our facility, the 5 burglaries, they just basically made the situation worse.
Yeah, and then your
They
lawyer
robbed us
comes in,
again.
and then
They
your lawyer
robbed us
comes
again.
in. Your lawyer comes in. Rod Moody steals your money, lies to the court about how much money he took, and everybody overlooks that. I think he said that you only paid him $5,000. Then you showed another $3,000 check. Everybody just ignores it. It's just
Right.
They
it's
act like nothing's wrong. And
it's-
then what they did is they said we're criminals instead of saying that Tamara O'Connor and Paul Ware were criminals.
And they had it on videotape. The whole thing was
And
on
they got
surveillance.
all 5 burglaries on camera. I gave it to them. And even Detective Mike Hansen from Anacortes Police Department used our security video footage to go, oh, there's Tamara O'Connor leaving your place with with a freezer full of cannabis and 100 pounds of propane.
I know,
So,
guys. I know.
anyways, we need a lot of help to figure this out. We shouldn't have to sue the government
To
when
tell
they're
the truth.
wrong. They should admit their errors, compensate us for the damage, and return our property.